Hello and welcome to PBCJ Presents, our weekly current affairs discussion series where we take a deep dive into matters affecting Jamaica land we love. I am Maya Chung. This week my guest is Chief Executive Officer of the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, Winston Simpson, and the topic is agriculture. Welcome, sir, and thank you for being my guest. I really appreciate it. How have you been?
Thank you, Maya. Thank you for having me, and thank you to PBCJ family. It is indeed a pleasure for me to join with you on stage.
You are more than welcome. All right, let's kick things off immediately. What has life been like for the authority with the governance of 240,000 farmers since the onset of COVID and the current hydrological drought that we're in?
RADA is good at what they do. Agriculture is our name, agriculture is our game. Since COVID, we have really learned a lot. And to manage this database of over 240,000 farmers and to provide the kind of service and demand that the farmers place on the authority and our householders, it has really been a challenge, a good learning curve, and I think we're doing great with that.
Is it possible for you to give me at least 5 of the more pressing issues that came up with the onset of COVID, even before we touch on current drought conditions?
As it relates to COVID, and one of the takeaway is that we need to produce more
food.
We need to produce more food. We need to have good storage capacity. We need to empower our farmers. We need to have a very good marketing and distribution network. And we need to encourage our younger generation to eat what we grow and grow what we eat. It's really critical that you eat what is produced locally. We have been doing those things, but the demands become greater. And when all these persons were locked down, we had a responsibility to make sure that they eat. And so, in collaboration with other agencies, the Ministry of Health, the security, the police force, the army, we were able to traverse the various barriers and at the same time encourage farmers to produce. It was a learning curve, so communication was critical, and to create safe paths for the farmers to go to their farms and to produce was really one of our focus. We had to make sure that the farmers were able to continuously produce. We had to make sure that mechanisms were in place to allow for the distribution at house to house. And I must use this opportunity to thank the extension officers of the RADA, thank the purveyors, thank all the players that were involved in this venture. Because let me tell you, when you heard that there were vegetables in St. Elizabeth, and you had other things, you had meat over in St. Ann, and you had eggs over in Trelawney, the logistics had to be very, very
I hear
tight.
You mentioned the army. That's
Yes.
a big deal.
So we had to have everybody on board, and a lot of the member of parliaments came on board and facilitated the process. So it was a all hands on deck approach, and I could say we did well. And if you look, the government has received a very high rating internationally for all the efforts put together. And I must say, big up to all the agricultural staff, all the farmers who are the most critical ones in this scenario, who, irrespective of what happened, were very resilient in making sure that all Jamaicans eat fresh foods.
What are some of the things coming out of that experience that you know for facts moving forward? A COVID showed me this, and we're not making that happen again. Give me at least one example. We didn't.
Storage, Maya. Storage.
Storage.
Yes, storage. We need cold storage. We need storage of all type, dry storage. Because without storage, and you must
You're not gonna have no food security because the food will rot down and spoil.
And you must be able to store to at least a month's supply. Because the truth is that, if you can't store for a month, then you're in trouble. When the logistics and the whole shipping arrangement came to a halt.
I remember the other countries were having problems as well.
You had to look within. And when you look within and you saw what you have, then you have to look at distribution. And then you look at distribution, now you have to look at the quality of produce.
You can't be handing out rotten meat or poorly stored meat.
It's very important about storage.
What are some of the new storage capacity things that have happened in the last 2 to 3 years that you can talk about with us now?
All right, when you go into the term mitigation, it's a whole new world.
So it's not mitigation and then just create a new paradigm.
Mitigation for climate change, mitigation for food shortage. You have to look at all of them in specific areas. You have to single them out. As we speak, we are refurbishing storage areas in Christiana. The AIC, Agro Invest Corporation unit at Spanish Town Road, they have some amount of storage. And the public-private sector partnership, it is doing a great lot where a lot of our purveyors have come on board to make storage facility available in the case of needs like these. Because they are indeed our partners and they work with us right through this crisis. And so they have a lot of storages, especially for the POPA group, the Potato Onion Producers Organization. They were on board and they made sure that we were able to do some storage. So going forward, I want to use this medium to invite investors. Come into Jamaica, invest in storage. It's a win-win. A lot of time you will hear a person speak about glut and you hear they speak about scarcity. But the truth is, most times it's a distribution problem. And the whole logistics of moving, say, scallion, melon and those things from St. Elizabeth over into Portland. And when you're coming back, you bring back breadfruit, banana, and plantain. And when you go into St. Mary, you bring up coconut and all the other things. So the distribution network needs to be tightened. These are opportunities. COVID has taught us new opportunities. And investors could look at those opportunities. How do you set up an outlet in St. Thomas? Or you set up one in Portland? Or you set up one in St. Elizabeth? Or you set up one in Kingston? So when you move products to one side of the island and you're coming back, you bring back the other products and you have a control center, and you have storage, you have good retail areas, you have good pricing mechanism, and you have fresh foods for the nation.
All right, we're gonna take a break at this time. You're watching PBCJ Presents. I am your host, Maya Chung. My guest is Winston Simpson, CEO of RADA. Stay with us. We are broadcasting from the Courtly Hotel and Suites. We will have more when we return.
Immerse yourself in the elegance and charm of the Courtly Hotel and Suites. Enjoy our jerk barbecue night by the poolside each Wednesday, or celebrate your special events for your wedding, anniversary, birthday, or just a relaxing weekend getaway. Unique, personalized, inviting. The Courtly Hotel and Suites.
Welcome back to PBCJ Presents. I'm Maya Chung. My guest is the CEO of RADA, Winston Simpson, and our topic this week is agriculture. So storage and distribution before the break took about a lot of our discussion. Moving into a very ugly scenario, the ultimate enemy of the farmer, drought.
Jamaica is a resilient country. Our farmers are resilient. Jamaicans are resilient persons. For the past 32 years, we have never had these climate conditions. We have gone through hydrological drought, at one stage we were going to agricultural drought.
You want to explain to our explain to our audience, because we can't take it for granted. Differentiate between agricultural and hydrological drought.
The hydrological drought is basically when you start having serious water crisis that affects the streams. The agricultural drought is when the plants just can't survive anymore.
Which is worse?
Well, the agricultural drought is the one that will affect the agriculture.
Right.
Definitely. And so what we have done is to have serious campaigns to encourage our farmers. Do water harvesting.
I was just about to say water harvesting.
Water harvesting is critical. The entombment of streams.
Entombment?
Yes.
Please tell me what that means.
Entombment, you have some gullies in Jamaica that never dries. And it's very good that you create catchment and you entomb it, that persons don't mess with that water. And you pipe it. And you can pipe it to various areas. So pipe it to farming communities, and if you're going to use it for domestic purpose, then you would be in touch with the experts, the National Water Commission, as how to treat that. So the entombment is also critical. We're looking at on-farm irrigations where you get the black tanks, or if you have a reservoir somewhere, then you use the irrigation hose to just give the plant this enough water. Our minister has looked at revamping a lot of those catchment areas across the island. There's so much catchment areas. When we were kids, parishes like St. Ann and Manchester used to have a lot of catchment areas.
They do not know.
And
I'm asking.
a lot of the spaces are still there. But because
people not using
a lot of them
them
need to be repaired and need to be put back into use. And so this is very important, and the RADA is looking at that and to partner with the parish council to see how we get at those. We're looking at the micro dam system where we are doing dams in the production areas. So what we do, we dig dams, we do the pond lining, and we secure water there. We are encouraging greenhouse production, and we're looking at harvesting the water from the greenhouses, harvesting the water
How
from
does
your
that
roofs.
work? Because you make an interesting point. The rollout of the greenhouses would have been more than 7 years ago, in the initiate stage. Now you're saying it is a drought mitigator. How so for the
Because
person
if
who
you
doesn't
can,
understand?
if the water that comes from the roofs of the buildings and from the greenhouse can be harnessed and can be harvested, then you can put that in a dam, and during drought season the greenhouse can still flourish with water.
Okay.
So we encourage that, and you could use solar system to operate those pumps. So it's quite efficient.
Yeah, we're full of sun.
Yes. So we encourage that because we want to make sure that irrespective of the drought, we are able to produce vegetables. And
We're able to
I
eat.
could go further. Jamaica is such a dynamic place, and because of our geographical location worldwide, we have spells of drought, and sometimes that drought is break into flood, and so we have to operate within these scenarios.
Like on the balancing of both
But
yin yang kind of.
But our farmers are so resilient. You know, as soon as there's a flood, by the time we announce, you know, whatever the cost is, some farmers are out there ready, cutting back on their plant and cutting back on the banana, allowing some natural revegetation to take place. And so I use this opportunity to salute the farmers. They're our partners. As a matter of fact, I don't even call them farmers again. They are business people. They are agripreneurs. The financial institution came on board, made 4% loan available to the farmers over a 3-month crop cycle. They gave us 5 months. Within that 5 months, we arranged the marketing, arranged with the producers, and so when the crop is ready, the purveyors take the crop and pay the bank, and the farmers get the others. And it worked quite well. Other incentives that we have looked at is under the NPPP, National Production and Productivity Program, where the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, through the Minister and the Permanent Secretary, make funds available. And we engage farmers, especially those in the production clusters, to improve their production. And we have targeted some priority crops. And so farmers who are already in those areas and doing the production, we encourage them with inputs.
What is a priority crop, at least?
Onion, Irish potato, sweet potato, ginger, cassava, pineapple.
Yeah.
We look at strawberries too.
Really?
Without looking at red peas. And you know, these are the kind of crops we look at. We encourage farmers to produce it, and we provide fertilizers. The fact that we start looking at farmers as a business, we have partner with COL. You know, COL is the continuous learning for the farmers, and under the COL training, we do farming as a business as training, and we go with the over 800 PMOs, Producers Marketing Organization. We train farmers in groups to make sure they see farming as a business and be able to identify with it, and they being the owner of their business. And we want to be a success. If during our time we are not able to impact lives, Bob Marley would say, my life for me don't mean nothing if I don't help people. So as a sector, as a RADA, we are here to impact lives. Our brand is land and opportunities. We at RADA is always making sure that we create opportunities for investors, we create opportunities for our farm families, we create opportunities for our household to have choices. We have gone ahead, and we have looked internally at our mechanisms. We have set up standard operating procedures for all our 13 parish offices and the head office. We have.
This is over the past 2 years,
yes,
past year?
Yes, and we are now ISO certified.
Ah,
and
yes,
so
which is a
we
first
have to,
by MIIC.
We have to maintain that standard. We have also undergone customer service surveys by the Office of the Prime Minister, and we have been successful. We have met the threshold mark and have been successful. So we have targets that we must meet, and we can't afford to drop the ball, and we are pushing. It's out of those targets and out of the demand from our clientele, the demand from our stakeholders, the demand from our farmers, that the RADA now is undergoing a process of realignment, reorganizing, restructuring, and rebranding.
We take a break at this point. You're watching PBCJ Presents. I'm Maya Chung. My guest is Winston Simpson, CEO of RADA. The topic is agriculture, and we are coming to you from Courtly Hotel and Suites in Kingston, Jamaica. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching PBCJ Presents. I am Maya Chung. My guest is Winston Simpson, CEO of RADA, and our topic is agriculture. We move on to the topic of the Denbigh show. I gather it's the 69th staging of that is a bastion in agriculture in Jamaica. What are some of the characteristics that will define Denbigh 69 for 2023?
Let me put it this way, Denbigh has been steaming up. All the parishes have been preparing. We have the Egg Show, we have the St. James Agricultural Show, we have the Hanover Agricultural Show, the Westmoreland Agricultural Show, we have the St. Elizabeth Agrifest, St. Thomas Agrifest, St. Andrew Agrifest, we have the Portland Agrifest. So it's a lot of shows, and all the parishes have been beaming up to do an explosion at Denbigh. So we expect the Denbigh to showcase new technology, showcase the resilience, show new production techniques, new machinery,
a lot of
new highlights,
showcasing a
new
lot
IT.
of the lessons learned,
Yes,
and
definitely.
probably trying to inculcate them.
Definitely. It will
sooner
also
rather
be
than later.
the first show that our Minister Fight Green will be Minister of Agriculture, and
Will
so
be
he's looking forward to
overseeing,
it. We are
yeah.
looking forward to it. The RADA family is looking forward to it, and we expect to have a big show. We expect to see PBCJ there live,
PBCJ will be there
and so
in the house.
we expect that farmers will come out with their families, and everyone will be there to support it. Denbigh 69 is mine. When you come to Denbigh as a young person, there must be the takeaway. I want to be an agripreneur.
I want to be a part of this.
I want to be a part of this. I want to produce.
Thank you for watching PBCJ Presents. My guest has been Winston Simpson, CEO of RADA. Our topic has been agriculture. I am Maya Chung. Remember to follow us on all our socials at PBCJamaica. Email us directly at pbcjpresents@pbcjamaica.org. Stay tuned for more riveting programming on this station.